everyone in podcast land, and welcome to another sports podcast. I'm Joel Anderson.
I'm Jordan Pomaville.
And joining us, as always, is Phil, the sports outsider Ranta.
On the outside looking in.
Did you catch any games this week, Phil?
I did.
What?
Whoa.
Yeah. I caught a game called the Royal Rumble.
It's
a
not sports.
WWE game.
It's not sports.
That's more entertainment. I don't
Sheamus won. Well, I should have said spoiler alert first. Spoiler alert. Sheamus won.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still not sports.
So pale he's see-through.
Did you like
I
it though?
agree.
Did it make you think, man, if this is half a sport, I wonder what a full sport's like?
No, it's all entertainment, right? Like the focus of that is to be entertaining, whereas the focus of sports is to play the sport.
Okay, that's a valid point.
Thank you.
It's a valid
I'll
point.
take it. It's kind of like saying, you like Desperate Housewives, then you'll love watching football.
Maybe some people, I don't know.
Maybe, but
I think
probably
maybe
not.
we should leave the discussion of the Royal Rumble to the Curtain Jerks.
Hey,
our
also
sister
on
podcast.
Comedy Podcast Network, comedypodcastnetwork.com.
All right, hey, let's bring it back to sports.
Yeah,
Yes.
how about we do that?
We got the Super Bowl coming up.
Hey,
It's in Indianapolis.
I'm sorry,
or
the
as
what
I
now?
call it, KFC Day.
The Super Bowl. What do you call KFC Day?
Because it was a thing with my family is that they always ordered Kentucky Fried Chicken on Super Bowl Sunday.
That's a
and I
pretty good
never watched
tradition.
the game, so I just was like, yeah, KFC.
A lot of people.
All
get
right, I'm going to
pizza.
go play
KFC
video
be
games.
awesome.
Bye, Mom.
Exactly. Now you know my childhood.
Don't get grease on your controllers.
Oh, I had the greasiest controllers. They were like filled, like the buttons wouldn't even push down after a while because they stuck so hard.
I don't even know what that means. But yeah, so Indianapolis is where the Super Bowl's at.
Yeah.
Oh man, that you gotta look for all the hungover reporters the day after the Super Bowl, because let me tell you, Indianapolis's nightlife is not going to treat them well.
I did hear some pretty wild things from Michigan State students who went there for the championship game this past year.
Oh yes,
Really?
No, actually not really. They said it was
Oh.
terrible.
No.
Oh, okay. I believe that.
I have friends. I've been to Indianapolis visiting friends, and it's like the entire city is basically just like the spokes on a wheel with all of the major highways coming into it. So
So
Indianapolis is basically something you pass through.
So for fun, they just go and look at the highways or stand right in the middle of all
I
the
don't
highways.
know what they do for
and
fun.
be like, look, Mom, I'm in 4 different highways at once.
You're presuming that people have fun in Indianapolis, and I'm not certain. that they
Everybody's
do.
trying to have fun everywhere.
Wait. Well, hold on.
Yes.
Hold on.
I'm holding.
Cold weather Super Bowl in Indianapolis. There's been 2 in Detroit.
Hey.
And today we have a guest on, Harry Dwarfsky
Oh.
from the Cleveland Tourism Board, I believe, and he's going to actually give us his pitch for why Cleveland should be hosting a Super Bowl.
Wait,
in the future.
Cleveland Tourism
We're letting
Board?
an Ohioan in the studio?
Ohioan.
Oh, Ohioan?
That's close to that type of Mexican food. Is what
Oh, yeah.
Oaxacan.
Oh,
That's
Oaxacan.
it. That's
Yeah.
the one.
Yeah.
I like
Spelled
that.
similarly.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
good.
I do not like
stuff
Ohio.
from Ohio. Well, all right, let's hear him out at the very least. I mean,
All
the
right,
guy
all
is
right.
trying to get people to come to Cleveland. That's got to be its own personal hell.
Should keep
so,
pushing Cedar Point.
Yeah,
Oh, that place is great.
It
That
is
get to
so
the
much
point.
fun, yeah.
America's roller coaster.
Absolutely.
that's a good slogan. What's the slogan coming from the Cleveland Tourist Bureau?
Oh, well, it actually have here. 1 second. Cleveland, huh?
Okay.
Huh.
Okay, we'll ask him about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
We'll
we should ask him about
yeah.
that.
We'll ask him about that. And also we got, because it's the Super Bowl. This is interesting. You know, TV, they premiere big time new TV series after the Super
Highest
Bowl.
rated
They'll have,
television
like-
show of the year is always the Super Bowl.
Right. They'll do like a Whitney or a Two Broke Girls,
Sometimes
Something
3
crappy
broke
usually,
girls.
Yeah.
a Napoleon Dynamite the animated series.
Yeah, but this
Such a good idea.
It was such
to
a good
make
idea,
a
right?
show out of a
Thank
movie
God.
from like 8 years
Right,
ago.
because it was so trendy back then that it
Yeah.
must still work now as
And
a cartoon.
everyone must have forgotten those catchphrases that were repeated ad nauseum when it was a movie.
Right.
So,
Oh, I can't wait for the Borat cartoon.
the biggest
Someday.
catchphrase from that movie was
yeah,
size.
only what,
I feel
6
like.
years till
Yeah.
that's coming out? Yeah.
All right.
Which will read well.
But anyway, what they're premiering after the Super Bowl this time is a new sitcom called The Mannings.
Oh.
Oh, the guy from the commercials.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, maybe Archie. I don't know.
Archie Bunker?
No, Archie Manning is
Oh,
the
okay.
father. He was also a quarterback.
I would really
Yeah.
like it if it was Archie Bunker who'd just go in and be like, yeah, you white guys who play football are all dicks.
That's exactly what Archie Bunker would say.
Thank you,
would,
thank
yeah.
you, Mr. Walken.
Yeah.
Of course.
And also, so we have that coming up, and we also have Well, I guess this is kind of an interesting thing because I know, guys, when they have children. Oh, God, that's
like fathers?
Yeah, fathers.
Yeah,
Okay, there we
That's
go.
what they're called.
Like normal guys who then procreate.
Yeah, fathers.
Yeah, they're called dads or fathers.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes in the workplace, you take time off, you come back a little soft, people say.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, guys are always really obsessed with their new kids. We actually using our our grossly underutilized system of microphones in every single sporting
Oh, you're
venue
talking about that from the
Yeah.
microphone that yeah.
You spent 6 years placing, and that we actually, sometimes don't even use in any given episode. We do have a rather interesting speech given by a high school coach to his team on the eve of a state championship.
Oh, yeah, I've bugged all the high
wow.
school locker rooms, too. I bugged every locker room of every sport.
That would explain why I had to bail you out of jail that one time.
Well, yeah, I'm not very sleuthy.
And why we're
Yeah.
all on that list.
Right.
Yeah. Let's move on. What else do we have on?
Hey, do we have another weird sport?
Oh, of course we do,
Yeah,
right?
we do. Hell yeah, we do.
I don't know how you're going to top last week. I loved last week.
You know what? I'm not going to.
That's
how I'm gonna
a
top
safe
last
way to
week.
play it.
Yeah.
Oh, last week was the crazy decapitated
Yeah,
head
it's the
one.
Mesoamerican ball game.
That's the winner. That's my favorite weird sport.
Well,
so far.
hopefully this one will be good.
And I'll tell you
Okay.
what I do. I think we should do it really fast because last time I listened to the podcast, I listened to it working out.
Oh yeah.
And when Weird Sports came on, I was doing cardio.
Oh yeah.
And I started going even faster and harder.
Sure.
Yeah.
This is a good podcast for working out.
So I just want to tell other people to maybe check that out.
Yeah,
having
get off
sex.
your asses, listeners and fans.
Yeah.
Work out.
Yeah.
Don't sit there on your ass and just listen.
But when Weird Sports come on and you hear that intro, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, you kick it up from 7 to 10.
Absolutely.
'Cause that's what Weird Sports is at all the time. It's 10,
Yeah.
except for that Quidditch one.
yeah, that's
that
when we
was like
kicked it
a
up to
2.
11. Should we get the show started?
Yeah, why
let's do
why
it.
don't we get it going?
Okay, guys, the big game's tomorrow. Now, there's been a lot of talk going around about how I've gotten soft. However, since Martha and I had the kid, I've changed. How my life is all about the baby now, but I'm here to tell you, that's not true. I'm as tough as I ever was, and we're gonna go out there and show them just how wrong. Now, I want you all to listen up, because Dada has something to say. Tomorrow, we're going to be playing a really tough team out there, and a lot of mean Mr. Sports writers have counted us out. They say our O-line has gotten too itty-bitty and whittle, that our running back won't be able to go wee all the way home, that our quarterback will make too many oopsies. Oopsies are no-nos if we want to win. Whoopsie doodles will be yucky and icky tomorrow. Visualize the game. Be ready. Receivers, when we pass, it's an airplane and it needs somewhere to land. Open wide and make a hanger. Defense, here comes the choo-choo. And everyone out of bounds is like hot lava. Don't touch the lava. Now, I know a lot of you have boo-boos and owies that you're playing through, but I need you to all be big boys and very brave tomorrow. Let's make sure we're in the hotel at time for Betty by tonight. We can't have any sweepy heads in that game tomorrow. Let's drink plenty of Wawa and eat good num-nums. But let's make sure we go potty tomorrow. We don't want any accidents out there if your tummy hurts. We catch that bus tomorrow morning and it will go vroom vroom to the big house where your mamas will watch you play. The wheels on that bus will go round and round, round and round. Now, the other team has been talking a bunch of goo-goo gaga about this team. They've said things to the press. They've been real meanies. But I think that if we play as a team, if we learn to share and be nice with each other, we can go out there and make those meanies go away. Okay, guys, let's rest up. If anyone needs a baba or their blankie, you just let Coach know. But I think tomorrow we're going to play our cute little hearts right out of our itty-bitty chests. And afterwards, we're going to be state champs. And any boys who have been good might be getting a treat. Break! Wait, no, let's get some pictures for Mommy first, then break. And now it's time for another Weird Sports! Oh, the sport is so weird that it's Weird Sports segment. Weird Sports.
All right. Everyone's favorite segment. What do we got this week, Phil?
Well, we've got a great follow-up after last week's. Today's weird sport, dwarf tossing.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, dwarf tossing.
I did not know you did that competitively. I thought it was simply done for love of the game.
This seems oddly like a hate crime.
Well, a lot of sports are. Well, yes. You guys made the 2 best points right off the top. Well, what? I mean, darts is really like a bar game, right?
Yeah.
But it's still a sport.
It's true.
And
people play darts competitively.
Whereas the racism thing or the whatever thing, you can't defend that. It's a hate crime. It is a hate crime, right? But dwarf.
It's like darts if you had a specific ethnicity that you were throwing the darts at.
Right. It's like Laotian darts. Or
Yes.
yeah, totally. Only this happens to be dwarves.
Okay.
So dwarf tossing is a bar attraction in which dwarves wearing special padded clothing.
This is an indoor sport.
Yeah, it's an indoors.
Okay.
Well, I've seen. I looked it up on YouTube after I found this, and they do it outdoors too.
Oh, okay.
They do it in backyards sometimes.
Weather permitting.
Right.
Yeah.
And dwarf permitting. If they have access to the dwarves, then. However, they don't like to be called dwarfs, but we'll get to that later. But dwarves wear either padded clothing or Velcro costumes. They're thrown onto either mattresses or Velcro coated walls, respectively.
What? Oh, okay.
So, like, if they're wearing the Velcro clothing, they're in Velcro walls, and if they're wearing padding, you just chuck them to a mattress.
So, are you going for distance or accuracy?
Speed.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. We'll break it down here.
All right.
Competitors, they compete to throw the dwarf the furthest.
Okay.
Sometimes it's called dwarf throwing if they want to be more PC.
Okay.
Because, dwarf tossing can be a little offensive. Dwarf throwing, that fixes all those problems, right?
Oh, yeah. I imagine no letters if it's dwarf throwing instead of dwarf tossing.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
So what's really odd about this Wikipedia entry is they were kind of like, okay, here's the basics of it. Now here's all of the scandal around it.
Yeah.
And they broke it down by country. So we'll start with Canada.
Wait, there is no such thing as a scandal in Canada.
Well, it's funny. Dwarf tossing was like a 3-sentence thing, and then it says legality, and then that was the rest of the article.
Oh my! Do we know where this originated?
It didn't say where it originated. I think that it's just kind of always. Doesn't it sound like something that would be happening like the early circus circuit?
Yeah.
Like that. There was a lot of that going on, right?
Like, well, I imagine people have probably been throwing midgets, little people, whatever we're supposed to call them now.
I would say little people, except dwarfism is a special kind of little people, so I don't know. That makes it tough.
Oh, okay. Well, then I
had to look up separately. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get to the legality issues.
Okay, legality issues. Canada! In Ontario, Canada, the Dwarf Tossing Ban Act of 2003, also known as Bill 97, was introduced by Windsor West MPP Sandra Pupatello. Real name.
Her name is Pupatello.
Pupatello. What it pretty much says, hey, don't dwarf toss or you can be fined $5,000 and imprisonment of not more than 6 months.
Now, is that in a competitive sport?
Yeah.
Or if that's like if wayward teens are hanging out and they find a dwarf and they toss him, is that same penalty?
I think you could probably get in trouble for that, too.
What if I am attacked by a little person?
See, I was wondering that as well. That was going to be what I bring up. Is that if dwarf tossing there's this act, and it pretty much says you throw a dwarf or a little person, $5,000, right?
Okay.
But that seems like that's horribly against tall people. Like, I could get thrown, and what would... Like,
yeah. Now wait a second.
An
There's
assault
no laws
charge?
against throwing me.
They'd be out of prison the next day.
Yeah.
And what if it was a giant? Like, what if it was somebody who was bigger than me to the point that I am to little people?
That is downright discriminatory.
So you're saying the law is based on ratio?
Yes.
Height ratio?
It's based on height. It should be based more on height ratio, don't you think?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
If a 9-foot tall person threw me, they should get $5,000, 6 months in jail. Right?
Yeah, I'm in favor.
But
either that or just eliminate these laws, entirely. And
Joel.
Well, I'm not. I'm just saying.
Don't advocate for the tossing of little people.
I was going to say, what country doesn't protect
I'm advocating
most
for
vulnerable?
the freedom to toss little people.
Here's the thing. Here's my opinion. Before we go on to the next one, is that if it's in a sanctioned sport and all parties agree, then it's hard to.
If it's consensual tossing,
right?
What happens between an adult and a smaller adult?
Yeah,
is between them.
That's what I think too. is that if we're all consulting adults here, we should be able to do whatever we want to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Jordan's
yeah.
just looking nervous over there.
I'm skeptical. I want to know more about this sport that needed a law against it.
Okay, well, we'll move on to France then.
Okay.
France! The mayor of a small town called Morsaing-sur-Orge.
And I'm sure the pronunciation there is, I think...
Morsaing-sur-Orge.
If you don't know how to pronounce a fresh word, you end with
Right, Orge in France.
That sounded French. Yeah.
This mayor of the small town prohibited dwarf tossing, and the case went through appeal in a chain of administrative courts to the Conseil d'État, which found an administrative authority could legally prohibit dwarf tossing on grounds that the activity did not respect human dignity and was thus contrary to public order.
I think that's France's equivalent of the Supreme Court.
Right.
I think what we just said there.
I'm going to be honest with you. If it was banned by France, that's something, because the French do not ban much.
Yeah.
I went there once.
A lot of things fly.
They let little kids drink.
Yeah.
They let, pretty much everything goes in France.
I saw an 8-year-old smoking there once.
Yep.
Yeah. It happens all the time. They're just
I'm
like,
sure that's not even that big a deal.
Right.
So,
they're like, beep.
okay, what other countries?
So it made it all the way to the top. However, they did say, especially in this, that dwarf tossing is not necessarily prohibited outright. It was ruled that it was discriminatory with respect to dwarves, but there wasn't necessarily a ban per se.
They were just holding up the town's right to ban this sport.
Right.
Okay.
So I think you can still dwarf toss, and maybe you'd have a legal battle, but yeah. Let's move on to United States of America.
Woo!
Yeah, USA. All right, Robert and Angela Van Etten, Florida members of the Little People of America, convinced the state legislators in 1989 that dwarf tossing should be made illegal. So we were a little ahead of the curve on this one, which I'm very proud of. A measure banning dwarf tossing was passed with a wide margin. New York later followed. So yeah.
Wow. Again, I wouldn't think you'd be able to do that. I'm not suggesting that I would ever participate in this, because I really wouldn't. It sounds horrifying and demeaning and terrible. But at the same time, if the people who are being tossed are okay with being tossed, then
yeah, that's exactly
I don't see
how
why
I feel.
you can't.
Not only that, but they made special note in this United States part of the article that dwarf tossing was getting really popular in Florida bars in the late 80s.
You know what that is? It's that spring break crowd.
Right. Yeah. I believe it. I mean, it seems like something that drunk young people wouldn't have the sense to be offended by.
If we're going to stop spring breakers from doing stupid stuff, that's going to just collapse the entire economy for Daytona Beach.
I remember, when I was coming up through MTV, it was right when MTV Spring Break was getting big.
Oh, love that.
And that was like porno for teenagers.
It
they
really
were just
was.
they introduced I remember one year they had the 3-way kiss, and then they had a game show where two people who just met each other had to do very sexual things to each other for money. They had to get in the back of a small car and change clothes.
Isn't that called The Real World?
I bet that they probably reappropriated all this stuff.
And then Pauly Shore comes out and says, "All right, dwarf tossing.
Yeah, I'm a weasel. I'm gonna toss a dwarf.
Wheeze the juice.
The Pauly Shore.
Now you did say before, you said Little People of America.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the right term now.
Little People of America is their group.
Doesn't it seem like Little People is more demeaning than midget? If you really break it down.
Well, how can you describe them unoffensively? And I don't mean them as in you people them.
Oh, man.
No,
how do you describe little people in a less offensive way than little people?
Midget?
Micro-Americans?
No, sorry.
Tossable humans?
Right.
I don't understand what's wrong with midget.
I think that it's just became derogatory.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of considered.
But then it seems like it's one of those, it took on a derogatory thing and they wanted to change it for the sake of changing it. But I don't think little people's an improvement. Maybe just invent a word completely. We're pampas. Just call themselves pampas. P-A-M-P-A-S.
Oh, it sounds like pompous, like they're full of themselves.
No, you're right. All right. But I'm just saying, why not just invent a word completely as opposed to go with little people, which, again, I really don't think that's an improvement.
Perfect. I've got one.
Go for it.
Mexicans.
Taken.
Okay. Well, in that case, we better come to a close. Another Weird Sports.
Seriously, with these endorsement offers? Danny's Grand Slam? Russell sweatpants? Colts season tickets?
You're limiting yourself. They want to bring back taco neck syndrome ads. You'd be in a commercial with Shaquille O'Neal.
I can't keep up with Shaq's comedic timing. Shaq's always stepping on my punchlines.
Well, I'd be happy to put in a word with you for Newark Toyota.
Eli, what are you doing here?
In your town for the Super Bowl, bro. Isn't it nuts that I'm here at my second Super Bowl? And I come to find out you didn't play this year.
You were on the medical update emails. I sent them to the whole family.
No offense, Peyton, but I play in New York, so I get a lot of email.
Aren't they putting you up at that Radisson that business travelers use?
Yeah, I've been to fancier dive bars, but this way I can see you and Ashley, and I don't need quarters for laundry.
Ugh.
Honey, you really shouldn't get mad as long as your neck doesn't have feeling.
Oh, brother.
The Mannings, the dad played football. The Mannings, back then the Saints were atrocious. The Mannings, the Sons played football. The Mannings, except the one with spinal stenosis. The Mannings.
Oh, no. Will you look at the driveway? He drove his truck all around and packed down the snow. That's going to be impossible to shovel scrape off.
I love having him around. Did you see he brought this cute Statue of Liberty foam hat?
That looks completely stupid on your head, and it probably cost $25.
Is someone jealous that Eli plays in the Big Apple?
Jealous of someone with his career passer rating? Yeah, I'm going to have a talk with him.
Honey, no. Eli's using the kitchen to schmooze with reporters.
Eli, you can't stay here.
Hey, reporter friends, look, it's my brother Peyton.
Hey, Peyton.
Hey, Peyton.
How's your neck cramp?
Where will you be playing next year? Andrew Luck, Andrew Luck, Andrew Luck.
Hey guys, been a while.
He's letting me stay here so he can feel like he's in the Super Bowl too.
Now, I don't need to feel like I'm...
And get this, because Super Bowl rest is really important, he's going to let me stay in his bed.
No, I don't know about that.
Oh, Peyton,
He's your brother.
Blood is thicker than stew.
You gotta let him. Andrew Luck gave a kidney to his brother.
Well,
Great, you're the Manning.
Pose for some brother pics.
Brother pics.
Brother pics.
No serious ones, only silly ones. Fine, all right.
Let's do a funny one where I'm giving you a noogie since I'm in the Super Bowl and you're not.
Well, it's not ha-ha funny. Ow, ow, dang, easy, Eli, my neck.
Quick, reporter friends, take some pictures. He's squirming like the Patriots ought to be.
Oh, dang, come on now, ah.
Yeah. Oh, those two are rich.
Oh, Andrew Luck would be so much better at getting noogied.
The Mannings.
Well, I think it's nice that you're letting Eli use our bedroom. It's so cute seeing you two together.
Every channel I watch is covering the Super Bowl.
ESPNU has that NFL draft special.
You shut your dang mouth now.
Hey, gang, I just got back from Super Bowl practice and a Super Bowl-related party. Man, Indy is lame. Totally different from the NYC party scene. You probably don't get it. Anyways, I'm going to your bed.
Hey, before you do, you think you could... He's got to go. He's doing this all to mess with me. Indy doesn't have a party scene like New York. Does he think I'm retarded?
Honey, he's your brother. Isn't blood thicker than stew?
We're sleeping on a couch in our own living room. I can't get comfortable. My neck is bothering me.
Ugh, when will you stop using that as an excuse?
I know what I'll do. He hates mustard. I'll wait till he's asleep and I'll start spraying mustard all over his face. We have all kinds of mustard in the kitchen and I'll have a stupid mustard face, maybe forever.
Just go to sleep. You sound like a raving lunatic.
Raving? Hey, there's an idea. Yeah, it's Peyton. I'm gonna need a DJ and strobe lights and a bunch of party girls. Okay, bye. The Mannings. Oh, hey! Glad you made it. Looking for some in the bathroom. Hey, you there? Come here. Hey, new party friend. Who's the punk-ass bitch?
Andrew Luck!
Dang right. Where's the Coors?
Peyton, what the hell are you doing? I need my quarterback sleep.
Thought I'd show you a real indie party. Don't you got New York friends with weird piercings you could invite?
Peyton, me and the children are spending the night in a hotel. You're being ridiculous.
Oh, no, ridiculous. I'm rich and only have a 3-bedroom house. You're holding me back.
The HOA fees in that subdivision were insane. We're going.
What? Mom? Dad?
We were driving in for Eli's game, but it started storming. Thought we'd stay for the night.
What the heck is all this? Am I a Dr. Pepper commercial? Am I in a commercial pandering to an urban demographic?
Psh, those assholes don't pay you shit. What? Is there an ad exec here? Where is he then?
He knew I needed sleep, so he threw a big party and invited bad kids, and I think Peyton's on drugs.
Peyton, you knucklehead! We'll talk in the morning.
Oh, brother.
The
Mannings.
I'm disappointed in you, Peyton. Giving your brother a hard time just because whoever wins the more Super Bowls is the one who I'm going to love more?
But Dad, he had reporters in my kitchen. He packed down all the snow in the driveway. He used my bedroom.
I told you to get a better house.
I'm sorry, Peyton. I admire you so much. I just want to be like you.
Okay. I'm sorry too. But please, will you please help me shovel the driveway?
I can't tire out my arm the day before the Super Bowl.
I had spinal fusion surgery. Does anyone read the emails?
People are getting sick of your excuses, Peyton. I'll bet Andrew Luck shovels his own driveway.
What? Huh? What? Where am I?
We're at St. John's. You had a nervous breakdown, which is really bad for your neck and nerve endings and whatever.
What day is it? How long have I been out?
They also think you had a minor stroke.
How do you lead with nervous breakdown and not stroke?
Calm down, hon. Nurse! More of the quiet syrup for his IV.
Where's Mom and Dad?
At the Super Bowl. But they were definitely by your side at the hospital yesterday and not at Eli's last practice and walkthrough.
It's oddly specific information.
And the doctor said you shouldn't do the coin toss, but they got someone to fill in at the last minute.
Don't say Andrew Luck.
Arnold Luck? No, I'm sorry. It was Andrew Luck. Don't be silly. It's your brother.
The Mannings. All right, so this is cool, Phil. We have in the studio now a representative from the Cleveland Tourism Council.
Awesome.
What's
I've
his
always
name?
wanted to speak to his name is Harry. His name is Harry Drumsky?
Dwarfsky. Harry Dwarfsky.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey, guys.
I'm sorry. I knew it was Polish.
Yeah, it's Polish.
Yeah, it sounds Polish.
Got a big Polak over here. You know.
Do you make a lot of big Pole jokes?
Oh,
I know, it's
that's
a little
racy.
blue,
don't
it's
you
a
think?
little racy.
Yeah.
I know, I'm
a little
sorry.
racy.
I haven't been talking to Midwesterners lately. I apologize.
Well, it's good that you bring that up because that's just why I'm here. Because I think the Midwest has been done a great injustice.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now,
No argument here. No argument
Yeah,
here.
this isn't another Obama thing, is it?
No, this isn't about Obama.
Okay.
All right? You know, if the rest of the country wants to have some sort of, secret Hindu in the Oval Office.
Okay.
Whoa.
Moving on.
First of all, he's a
moving on.
secret Muslim, and second of all, let's move on.
Yeah, moving on here. What I'm here to talk about is the Super Bowls.
Hey, okay. I know what that is. KFC Day.
The Super Bowl is always played either in a warm weather climate or in an indoor stadium.
That makes
all
sense.
right?
It's
And
very cold.
It really is starting to bug me because you know what? There are a lot of places here in the Midwest where we would just love to host a Super Bowl, and we have a great outdoor stadium, and I think Cleveland should be one of the places they consider.
Whoa.
They're doing it in New York now.
That's true in 2 years.
What really is that different between New York and Cleveland?
Well,
I could name a lot of things.
They're significantly
fun
more
factor.
cosmopolitan.
Yeah. People want to be
Now
in
that
New
is
York.
said like someone who has not been to Cleveland.
Well, it's been a while since
Yeah,
I've been
I have been to Cleveland, but yeah, I would love a reminder as to why people should care about Cleveland.
New York is awfully cosmopolitan. I suppose that's why they put the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame there.
No.
Oh, wait, they did not. I believe that's right here in Cleveland.
That's true.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah.
And I did go there, and it makes for a great one day. And
Yeah.
then after that day, you have to find out what to do with the rest of your
There
time.
is lovely Lake Erie, rated the number 5 Great Lake in the country.
I'm going to stop you
guys.
right there, Harry. I could have sworn there was only 5 Great Lakes, so...
Well, they're thinking about adding Champlain. A lot of
Champ-
New Yorkers were talking about Lake
Really?
Champlain is one of the Great Lakes.
They've
No,
been
it's-
pushing that for years.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a Great Lake. It's an okay lake.
But think of the history, guys. You
The
know,
history of Cleveland.
I'll tell you
Fur-
why.
fur
Think
traders,
of,
right?
Think of the history. A Soldier Field. Okay, a Lambeau. All right.
Famous, beautiful.
Yeah.
Those aren't in Cleveland, though, are they?
No, they're not.
No.
They're in Chicago and Green Bay, respectively.
Oh, okay. Then what? I don't understand.
Those
what
would be
your point
great.
is.
Those would be
Those
great
would be
stadiums
great.
to have a Super Bowl in.
I think people would be really excited
Well,
to
I think
visit
you
those.
guys
but
are missing the point, though. That the stadiums like that are out there, and that's why they should bring the Super Bowl to Cleveland.
I don't see that. That's kind of like saying ice cream is delicious, so we should eat rocks for dessert.
I'm not sure I follow your metaphor there, Phil.
Because you're saying this is great, and therefore something completely different should also be great.
it is also cold in Cleveland.
it is,
That is
but I don't know that Cleveland Browns Stadium is the same magnitude as, say, Soldier Field or
Well, that
Lambeau.
is just poppycock.
Hey,
You were-
watch your mouth, hey.
I'm sorry. Hey, if Mrs. Dwarfsky is at home, I'm sorry, honey. I didn't mean to just go off there, but listen, think about the history of the Cleveland Browns. Okay?
Oh, sure. Okay, let's hear it.
Actually,
Think
I'm
about-
done.
I'm wondering why are
Bernie
they?
Kosar, you know?
But they're called the Browns. That doesn't make. I've always been stopped, but the Browns. It's evocative of only one thing, and it's not a positive thing.
I will not have you speak of Paul Brown, former coach of the Ohio State football team, like that.
Paul Brown?
Paul-
What?
You guys have never heard of Paul Brown?
No.
First president and general manager of the Cleveland Browns?
Is that what the Browns are named after?
Yeah.
I thought it was just
What
named
else
after
would the Browns be named
a
after?
pile of poop. That's what I thought.
I just assumed the color, like their jerseys were
right,
brown.
which is very evocative of poop.
Well, speaking of color, you guys are off right now. I'll say that much.
that was a good play on words. I appreciated that.
Well,
That was great.
a lot of people think we're just, some sort of rubes over in Cleveland, but I tell you, we're smart folks.
You know,
okay?
I don't watch much football, but I hear that the Browns are very bad and have been very bad for a long time.
A legacy of losing.
Right.
Well, some of those losses that we have a legacy for are in the playoffs. I'll remind you, the drive, John Elway, that happened right here in Cleveland Stadium. Not
Wait,
the
John
one that-
Elway played for the Browns?
Well, no, he played against the Browns.
Oh, okay. Then
He
that's-
played in the team that beat the Browns.
Oh, okay.
Bernie Kosar was on that team.
Yeah.
I dare you to name me a better quarterback who came out of the University of Miami than Bernie Kosar.
Don't look at me. I don't know
I
anybody.
also cannot. I can think of wide receivers, running
Yeah.
backs.
We had a lot of good wide receivers and running backs, but Bernie Kosar had a fairly long career.
I've honestly never heard the name
I
Bernie
have. It
Kosar
wasn't
before.
that long, was it?
It was longer than the other guys who came out of Miami.
Oh,
A lot of
Okay,
people
okay.
say Gino Toretto's better than Bernie Kosar. I just don't think that's true.
It feels like you're fumbling now. If I could say it's, I really want to hear
Yeah.
a really good reason why. I mean, these aren't good reasons. You're saying because cold places are getting it, and therefore our
This
place
is
should get
why
it.
we're trying to educate the public, and that's why I'm here to talk about the new Cleveland campaign, tourism campaign.
Oh,
our
all
new
right.
slogan.
I was gonna say I read this and I don't even get it. It's Cleveland, huh?
Yeah.
Well, no,
That doesn't sound very
you're
appealing.
reading it wrong. You're reading it wrong. It's Cleveland, huh?
Oh, kind of like the Canadian A, like a little shoulder, like an
You
elbow nudge, like
We got a whole lake between us and Canada. All right, so we say hump, but
Then you say huh instead of A. I hate to say it, but that's not an evocative thing to say. Like when I hear Cleveland, huh?
Well, we
it's
had
kind
a-
of like saying, "Do you have any loose change?"
Yeah. Do you know what time it is?
Right, exactly.
Huh?
okay, we had a couple other.
Yeah,
options.
let's hear some other ones. Maybe we can help you out with this one. I'd love to hear some
Uh,
others.
How about Burr? That's fun.
Per that's fun.
Yeah.
See, what you did was you took something that's not fun, and then you just added that's fun.
Well,
Like
there's a lot of cold weather fun to be had in
lethal
Cleveland.
injection. That's fun.
Burr, that's fun. That was
Okay.
that was the second runner up.
Getting
punched in the kidneys. That's fun.
Okay, how
Doesn't make it fun.
about least rusty of the Rust Belt?
Least rusty of the Rust Belt?
That's not very. I feel like, well, one, Chicago has a fair claim there, but also it doesn't focus on the positive. I think
Right, I'm still thinking of rust.
it's trying to downplay the negative, but I still get this image of cranes, rusty cranes.
Yeah.
Just outside, not building.
It makes me think of that Pawn Stars show, the one on the History Channel, where everyone brings in their rusty tchotchkes, and they're like, how much can I get for this? And then they're like, $2. They're like, this is worth at least $5.
You guys are a bunch of negative Nellies, aren't you?
I guess so, yeah. I guess that's kind of what we hang our hat on.
I guess I'm just, I got a lot to struggle with here. A lot of folks, they think of Cleveland, and all they think of is a dilapidated city, well past its prime, sitting on a body of water that kind of caught fire once.
Yeah, that's true.
And
But
it's
only once.
Horribly, yeah, only once. I tell you,
Well, here,
your lake catches fire, and that seems to be the only thing anybody wants to talk about.
well, lakes
all right?
shouldn't catch fire. Water shouldn't catch fire.
Well, sometimes it does. What are we supposed to do? Shut down all the chemical plants?
Yes, that would be a great start. Absolutely.
Seems
That
like a
would
good
not
idea.
be the Cuyahoga River that I remember.
Okay, is this going to be about Obama again? Getting his hands in
Do you
corporate
want to talk
pockets.
about Obama? Because I
No,
got
I'd really
No,
rather
no,
not.
no,
You
this
know
is a
what?
sports
I feel
sports
like,
podcast.
You really haven't turned us up. Well,
Well,
you
do
know
you
what? We'll
guys-
give you
do you
10
guys
more
have any-
seconds. We have 10 more seconds in this segment. I want to get your elevator pitch on why we should get it. 10 seconds.
elevator pitch.
Yeah, really
why
quick.
the Super Bowl should come to Cleveland.
Yes.
Yes.
And I don't want you to mention rust. I don't want you to mention cold. And I don't want you to mention concrete or lakes on fire. Just focus on positive things.
Tell me good things about Cleveland.
10 seconds and begin.
It is not Dayton.
All right, I think that's the best pitch we got thus far.
Yeah, I drove through Dayton once.
Yeah. That's the last time. Well,
There we go. Thanks for having me,
No,
guys.
thank you, Harry. We appreciate it.
That's it for another sports
Sports.
podcast. Before we go, we got to give you our contact information.
Yes, you can email us at sportspodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter at twitter.com/sports3podcast. Or you can find us on Facebook by searching Sports Podcast. Or you can just go to Comedy Podcast Network, check out all of our shows, all of our archives, and all of our sister shows.
Like
Curtain Jerks,
who
Funny
had a
Real
real
Big
big
Crew,
guest
Top
yesterday.
Story
Hey,
Report.
how you doing, brother?
That's not what they sound like.
What's up, other brother shows?
No, that's not what they're like.
Hey!
Again,
No.
when Curtain Jerks gets Christopher Walken to be in their show and does promotional stuff with NPR, then yeah.
Well, regardless, listen.
All right, tune in next time.
Thanks. Lights off.
For more funny stuff for your eyes and ears, go to comedypodcastnetwork.com.